Hello again everybody, this is Mr. Everything coming at you with another Wargaming miniature video. This is also part of this week's Market Garden Project Update, the building video. We're going to be talking about what buildings I have available and what buildings I still need. Okay, so these are the buildings I've constructed for World War II. I have a bunch of fantasy buildings and some American War of Independence buildings, but I don't think those buildings really fit with this style of battlefield. This building would probably be okay to use on the table. I have used it before in a World War II situation. It's just a wood building. This is normally an American War of Independence building. Okay, I do have one more wrecked building that I need to put together to include with this set. It's a shelled out building. All right, the bridge. I only have one bridge that's like this. My other bridges they look like more of a medieval fantasy style arched bridge, or I've got like an Americana style bridge, which all of these fit pretty good on the river. And then I also have the stone arch bridge right there, and that fits pretty good as well. So any of those bridges would work with this tile set, but just not World War II. So, and usually on the battlefield, you're only going to have one bridge. You're not going to have multiple bridges. So having that one bridge is just fine. I have gone ahead and broke off the handrail. I disassembled that. I'm going to cover this entire thing with the gray gravel when I get it in. So it'll look different once I got that gravel in. I'm going to put this up this side. All right, now just looking at these buildings, they all look pretty good, right? Nothing's really stands out and nothing's really an eyesore. But I will have to say that these four buildings right here up front, the row houses, those were scratch built by me. I did a video explaining exactly how I did those. These were made so that you could push them up against each other to make row houses. I also made them that if I wanted to have like a third story, you could take one of these, put it there. Shoot, I could do a fourth story if I really, really, really wanted to. Skyscraper. No. Yeah, so you could do something like, okay. What I need to do now is put little pins there so that they won't slide around on top of the buildings. Yeah, this is ground floor. There we go. I could do something like that if I wanted to, or if I just wanted to do just a couple of buildings, you know, with extra floors. Basically, I could do it however I want, or I could treat them as like there's one building out there all by itself. I could put another building somewhere else, and then I could have a couple of really big buildings. I could do it however I want. Luckily, these are scratch built. They're all kind of equal to each other. So, but basically, they're 4 two-story buildings. I got 4 roofs. So that's all the buildings I can do out of these is 4. I can't do I'd have to make another roof if I wanted to try to make like a 5th building out of this set. But I also only have 4 with doors on the ground floor. So, yeah, that was my scratch built project. And that's 4 buildings. Now I have a plastruck building. That's a plastruck building. It comes pre-colored like that. I don't have to do any work. it's a gray PVC material with and it's already been colored. Right now the roof here in the back comes off, so you can get inside and put troops in on this floor, on the ground floor, and then if you wanted anything on the very bottom, which is a weird way to lay it out, you have to lift the entire building up off of the tile. So then you would have troops on the ground floor, and then you would put this whole building on top of it like that. Very weird. And then this slides up underneath there, and there's a couple little things that link it together. It's actually a very large building compared to a building like one of these guys, or even that. It's made, this is probably 28 or 30 millimeter, and these are 25 millimeter. Right, that was the plaster building. Now, I've got a few TT Combat buildings that I want to show you. This one here is a TT Combat. This blue shop, or bakery I should say, is TT Combat. And this shop is TT Combat, and the church is also TT Combat. This is a TT Combat building. Okay. The church, you can take this top piece off, put troops down inside there, so you got, but it looks like only about 4 models will fit in there. So your sniper and his spotter would go in there, right? And then up here, you've got the inside of the church, right? With like a million windows everywhere. This church model went together pretty good. It's a pretty good style, solid building. It's a solid building. But when you get to these buildings, I don't know if they went through a generation gap. This newest building I just put together from them, it's a horrible building, in my opinion. It doesn't go together very well, and well, actually it goes together fairly well, but it falls apart. Like when you're cutting it out of the sprue, like the MDF just comes off, and the lasers cut too deep, so this becomes very fragile. The wood pieces, they come off. The planters, not done very well. I don't know. I like the look of this building. I'm really excited about it. It's not painted yet. Maybe painting will really fix a lot of those mistakes, but I'm not really fond of this TT Combat building. These buildings this building seemed to be pretty good. The you heard how tight that was. This building is super sharp going up the top, making it just inherently, because of it super sharp, making that super fragile. Maybe after gaming with it 10 years, it'll thin out, or it'll break, one or the other. These buildings are very plain. I still need to paint the shutters and the awning, stuff like that. Maybe the windows and the brick at the bottom. I still need to do a little bit of painting on these guys, but they seem to be very plain. Same thing with this one. This is more of a square building. That's more of a long building. This building did not come with the brick lining or the awning. I had to make my own. So, and this roof seems to be a little bit better. It goes on a lot easier. Yeah. This building I don't mind. It's just that it was missing some parts, like there's no shutters or no brick. When I contacted them about this building, missing the parts, that's going to be a topic of a grind my gears. That was I don't know. It just didn't sit well with me, the information they gave me back. And then here's some Sarrissa buildings. This is a Dutch building. That's what it's labeled as, a Dutch building. Roof comes off fairly easy. This floor, put troops in here. And see how that's like a giant building. In my opinion, that's a big building. And then floor goes on. That's a good looking building. It's just kind of big. Yeah, it's just big. But Sarrissa knows how to make a model, and this is a good model. I got a couple of bombed out buildings, plus the one I still need to put together. There's this guy. These two are exactly the same. I just saw a good deal, so I said, you know what, I'm just going to buy it because it was awesome. These do come apart, but I don't think there's any reason for me to do that because you can reach down in there. But you never know. Got to work it. They're still a little stiff. This comes right off. And then these guys, you could get a 3-story building for cheaper than a 2-story building. Like this, I think was $13 compared to this, which I think is $20, $16, right? And then of course my final Sarrissa here. Now that means I've got 15 buildings. I think I need more than 17 buildings, so I need to get a couple more. And then specifically in the scenario that this tile is made out for, I need a watchtower. So I'm going to get the watchtower, a couple of buildings over the next month or so for the convention. All right, guys. Well, those are the buildings that I've got. And thanks for coming out and checking out this Market Garden project update. And I'll catch you next time.